Welcome back to My Osprey TV. We've got a great interview scheduled for today. A business I personally use and trust and very well recommended in the community. Today, we're going to be talking to Scott Clark, one of the owners of Marlin James Air Conditioning. This is a business that's been in our community for over 30 years. Third generation, family owned and operated, and doing all the right things. A couple of neat things that I noticed when I personally used this business is I was meeting young people who are actually in training to become certified in the air conditioning industry. So they're even educating and guiding the next generation of air conditioning. Welcome, Scott.
Welcome. How you doing?
I'm doing great. So tell me, how did you get into the air conditioning business? I know this is a legacy business for
Yes,
you.
ma'am. Actually, my pop was in the business. He had one time had his own business in Plant City, and so when I turned 15, it's what I started to do, and just kind of fell in love with it. I've always been a hands-on person, and just fell in love with how we were able to build and install air conditioning in homes and businesses, and it's all I've done since then.
Awesome. And you pride yourselves on having a good presence in the community, a good reputation in the community. I know you take pride in your work, which for us in the small business community, we appreciate. And what are all the services that you offer in Marlin James?
Well, we offer residential. So for residential homes, we provide service for repairs. We also have maintenance plan, Reds Club, where we come out twice a year to clean the system for you. And then when it's time to put a new system in, we also can take care of that for you. On the commercial side, it's basically the same thing. We service, repair. We have maintenance programs for companies, businesses, and as well as when it's time to replace, then we're able to help them out with the replacements of equipment.
Wonderful. And I know you also take pride in the how your staff looks when they're out in the community. You've got your embroidered shirts, everybody's branded, and it looks really sharp. You've got your trucks out in the community. How important is it to you that you present a professional front out in the community?
Well, it is very important because each person and our trucks are an extension of who we are. So we want to represent ourselves professionally as we go into the community and meet homeowners and business owners. So we need to look good as well as perform good as well.
Exactly. Well, you do a great job of it. And when I was meeting a few of your younger technicians who were students, what really impressed me is you really try to guide them into getting licensed, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me a little
So
bit about that program.
we are a member of RACA, which is an organization for refrigeration air conditioning companies. It has a 4-year program that we send them to. We pay for them to go to it. So that they get the hands-on training while going to school to do the book work and to get some of the basics understanding of air conditioning, the low voltage, the high voltage, brazing, building duct work. So they get the school aspect as well as the day-to-day on-hands training. And that really, they're the future of the company. So we encourage educating the new generation as they come into our business. And we're excited as we have the opportunity to bring a young people into our company. It is exciting for us. And as our technology changes, we rely more on computers more and more every day. That also has brought some excitement to the younger generation, where we're using a computer to do some of the diagnostics of a system.
Okay. And and I think that's so important. I listen to Mike Rowe a lot, from
Mhm.
Dirty Jobs.
Oh
I
yeah.
listen to his podcast, and he does a lot of work ethic scholarships. And this
Mhm.
sounds like the perfect training program and opportunity that guides a young person who might have an interest in this industry, and then you're going to support them through their education, give them a job while they're going to school, and they're going to come out with a guaranteed position in their industry.
Yes, ma'am.
This is fantastic. And,
Yes.
we are raising kids who aren't necessarily hands-on. They're not changing their own oil on their car like I did when I was a kid.
Hmm.
When I grew up, we had to winterize vehicles. So you had to change out the fluids and put on winter tires and do things like that. And now we're we're losing those automotive shop programs in schools, the builders, the building, construction programs. And so kids are getting out of school and, I can tell you right now that, drippy faucet, they wouldn't know what to do, call the plumber.
Right.
So I appreciate kind of coming back to those hands-on skills and those skills that can go with them, can guide them
Mhm.
into a career opportunity. And
Yep.
let's face it, in Florida, it's a necessary
It is, yes, it
industry.
is a year-round project. And that's the one thing that we have noticed over the past few years, is even how we begin the training. Because you're right, a lot of the kids that come in and look for employment, they've never touched a tape measure. They never touched a pair of pliers, which, our generation, we grew up with that. That was instilled into us at a young age. So it has changed how we approach and how we even begin training. It starts at the very, very basics of just what tools are and how to safely use them.
100%. Exactly. And even what is a Phillips head? What is a flathead
Exactly.
screwdriver? I'm a little embarrassed. I've got, 19 and 23-year-olds. And what we bought them when they kind of got grown and flown was toolboxes.
Yeah.
They didn't
Yeah.
already have one, which is kind
Yeah.
of sad. We had to build them one, but hopefully we'll be able to adjust that and they'll be able to do a little bit for themselves. But it's great that you're doing that. Give me one or two tips that you would say have helped your company stay successful for 30 years in our
Mm.
community.
Um, I think for us, it's really understanding that our foundation is building relationships. That's really the core of who we are. And our desire is to build a relationship with the person. Um, and also to take ownership. It would be easier for us to say we're perfect and we've done everything exactly 100% right. That wouldn't be true. We make mistakes, but you take ownership of that mistake and you whatever is needed to make that right, you do that, and you do that willingly. Uh, and the mistake is soon forgotten. It's just what's remembered is how you dealt with that mistake, and we moved forward in that relationship. So those are really the two key, is just to build relationships and surround yourself with really great people that share the same desire of serving others, um, and who are willing to put forth the serving aspect over your own self.
Those are two really great points, and they've obviously served you well to be
Yes, ma'am.
established in our community for 30 years, surviving through business through a pandemic
Hmm.
and also through supply chain issues, because I
Yes,
know
ma'am.
for a time it was difficult to get materials because
Yes,
we
ma'am.
just, shipping was delayed and manufacturing was delayed, and we hit that time frame when it was hard to even get materials to do the jobs that needed to get done. I know that happened in automotive, car
Hmm.
repairs, in the service industries.
Everybody was touched by that.
Everybody was touched by that. So congratulations. You're one of our well-established businesses in the community. We're fortunate to have you here, and I'm happy to be a customer. So thank you
Well,
for being with
thank
us
you.
today, Scott. Give us a little bit of information on how a person can get a hold of you if they'd like to have more information.
Well, our phone number is 813-689-0817. Our website is marlinjames.com. Great way to get in touch with us. You can always call me, 813-478-2170. Everybody knows my cell number. So I'm always easy to get a hold of.
I might be
Um,
programming that in, Scott.
there you go.
You know,
Um, but no, the best way is to contact the office. And anybody here is eager to help understand the situation, and for us to, again, to start a relationship. And we're very blessed. I mean, again, this is not something that Glenda and I, my wife, have done on our own. We have been so blessed to have a lot of great individuals that make up Marlin James, along the way. And so we are thankful for 30 years of being in the community, of serving many people in the community, and we look forward to the next 30.
100%, Scott. Congratulations, and here's to the next 30.
Thank you, ma'am.